Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to the virtual Talladega Super Speedway for tonight's running of the fifth and final regular season race of the Dega Pros Little Guys Series hosted by John Ward. My name is Dawson Wise. I am glad to be with you on a beautiful Monday evening here, late night on the East Coast. But hey, we're going Little Guy Racing once again as per the usual. This is the last opportunity tonight for a guy to make their way into that big race next week. This has been a great 4 weeks of racing. I'll tell you what, you have missed a heck of a series here that we've had on Monday nights, and it has been a lot of fun for me to be up here. It's been a great privilege to watch these guys put on a show every single night. I wanted to go live a little bit early tonight, try to get you an idea of what this point situation is, because I'm going to tell you what, it is a tough one. It is a tough one to get. If this is your first time watching how the Little Guy Series works, you are into the championship race with podiums or on points, or if you can average a certain finish as well as how many points you get in the race, get you above a cut line. So I'll give you an idea very quickly of who is in and who is out. We'll get you the very basics here. Glad to have a big audience here on a Monday night. It's one of our biggest audiences yet. If you're joining me from over there on the OP Monday night scene, welcome. I'm glad to have you here, and it is going to be a great race tonight. So here is who is in for sure on podiums. Dustin Carruthers of KSR, a back-to-back winner. Ryan Baste is in on podiums. Heath Job is in on podiums. Brock Westmoreland, Trevor Osbornoff, Sean Corbett, and Michael Triscaro locked in on points. Thomas Parker, Michaela Steffes, Danny Barnes, and Mark Vondell. And then here are the four that are in as of tonight. Aiden Kirk, Jeremy Osborne, Kenneth Stamper, and Ron Morris. So that is where we're looking at drivers that are in. There's several in for sure, several not in for sure. Obviously, it's going to be very interesting to see who makes their way in tonight as we get you ready to go for the Dega Pros Little Guys Series. Taking a look at your pole sitter for KSR as Mr. Trevor Osbornoff. What a great qualifying run it is for him tonight in the 89. And the first thing we'll do, as always, get you your starting grid. We'll talk more about points the further we go on tonight. Glad to have everybody here. Chime in and chat. Let me know who you're rooting for. Let me know how you're feeling tonight on a great Monday night. It is a big field tonight, let me tell you. And it's going to be a good one. So, here we go. Starting grid. Getting right into it here on a Monday night for you. Trevor Osbornoff on the front row on the pole. Along with him on the front row is the 49 of Michaela Steffes. She is right close to that cut line as we come in tonight. Zach Range still looking to make his way into that race next week. A newcomer tonight, Cameron Garrison in the 25. He could make his way into that championship race next week. What an underdog story that would be. Thomas Parker for KSR rolls from the 5th position tonight with Mark Vondell to his outside in the 59. Ryan Baste will roll from 7th. And some team shakeups this week. We'll get to that a little bit later on as the race unfolds. Aiden Kirk to his outside in the 47. Rounding out your top 10 is going to be Sean Corbett and Josh McCullough. Moving down a little further, Devin Ray is going to roll from 11th position tonight with Dustin Carruthers, a two-time winner, to his outside in 12th. Ron Morris will roll from 13th with Jeremy Osborne in 14th position. Row 8, Michael Menchaca and Kenneth Stamper, the big boss man over at KSR. Tim White will roll from 17th with William Fox to his outside in 18th. Austin Green is in the field tonight, I do believe, in the 19th position. Good to see him back out here. Richard Elliott will start to his outside in the 20th position. Bradley Stefane will roll from 21st tonight with Brock Westmoreland in 22nd. Heath Joe will roll from 23rd. Logan York in 24th. Round out the field tonight will be Danny Barnes in the 7. 25 trucks have made the trip and unloaded off the hauler here in Talladega, trying to make their way into the final race of the Little Guys Series Season 1 next week. It's been a great season so far, a lot of twists and turns, and we're going to put another few drivers in that final race tonight. And we cannot wait to get it underway for you here on the Hickory Racing Network. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. I am rolling solo tonight. Usually I have had Cody Nagels up here. Hopefully we have him back next week. Some prior league commitments going on tonight for him and for myself. Luckily, not being on the racetrack, I was able to jump out a little bit early, bring this action to you. I would not miss it for the world. So welcome in. It is 27 laps of great hard racing at Talladega Super Speedway. The last opportunity for somebody to make their way into the Little Guys Championship race. And we are going to get this race underway when we come off of turn number 4 next time by. Austin Green is in the race tonight. He is sitting on pit road, but he will be in the field. Just going to need the help of a caution. We'll talk through some of those team shakeups as we roll tonight, but it does involve the One Stop Motorsports drivers, as they have all ended up on different teams this week as part of a shakeup. But we'll get to that a little bit more into the race. For now, here we go. Off turn number 4, the pace truck dives to the pit lane for the first time and leaves the field in the hands of KSR's Trevor Osbornoth. He's locked in next week, but he's looking to get some momentum. A bunch of guys behind him not locked in, would love to get locked in here tonight by virtue of a top 3 or by virtue of points. Through the trial for the first time, here we go. Green flag is in the air. Little guys, race number 5 is underway from Talladega. Headed to turn number 1, everybody kind of fading out, kind of fanning out, trying to feel out how this race is going to go. And we'll keep an eye on the guys that are going to be looking for points. And look at this. Zach Range immediately to the race lead. The urgency is there for the driver of the 043 as he looks to get an immediate lead. Drops across Trevor Osbornoth. A powerful move to the outside for Zach Range, and he controls the field now off into turn number 3. Michaela Steffes, Cameron Garrison trying to get that outside line wound up. Vondell a little further back in the outside line, also trying to help them out, trying to get them moving forward. Off turn number 4 down to the trial for the first time here, getting up to full song. Trevor Osbornoth, does he lean out with his teammates? But they both are clear now for KSR. Do they dive out? Nope, they're going to stay right in line. Lap 2 on the board. Now the KSR boys to the outside. Does Steffes go 3 wide? Nope, she's going to stay in line. And the outside line now wound up as Osbornoth goes right back to the race lead. Here off the back straightaway. Now Steffes looks 3 wide. Does she have any help go with her, though? No. Cameron Garrison stays in line for the time being. Maybe just trying to get a run. Nope, he's going to stay in line, fill that gap. Osbornoth, top to bottom, in front of Zach Range. He takes the race lead, leaves the top line to Thomas Parker in the 51. These guys scrambling all over the racetrack early on in this one, trying to find their spots early on. It's a good one so far already, and we'll keep an eye on the drivers who need points tonight. Obviously, Osbornoth, he's in. Thomas Parker is in, but Zach Range is not. And so that'd be the guy to watch. Michaela Steffes as well. Actually, she is locked in as well on points, so not much to race for her tonight other than momentum. There are 14 locked in. Still several more could make their way in based on points. Outside line working. It's Vondell with the help of, I believe, Josh McCullough. Now Michaela Steffes says, I'm going to take my turn out there. She goes to the outside wall. A confident move by the driver of the 49. Let's see if the top line can get anything going up there, wound up. It's going to allow the bottom to pull away just a little. Trevor Osbornoth might think about going up, picking up his teammate. Nope, going to stay right where he is, tucked along the yellow line, the shortest way around this 2.66 mile oval. 3 wide, a lot of the way back. Now it's starting to fan back down to 2 wide. And not for long. Dustin Carruthers to the outside with the boss man, Kenneth Stamper, up against the outside wall. Michaela Steffes will try to give them some trouble. Cameron Garrison is into the outside wall and spinning in front of the field. And we're going to pile them up here early on lap number 4. It's the newcomer Garrison. He was the first one I saw get around. We'll try to go back and get a look at what happened to the driver of the 8. Looks like Carruthers, that's some right rear net code, I do believe, between the 10 and the 8. 10 coming down to side draft just a little, catches the right rear of the 8. Maybe some net code involved. Kenneth Stamper, Michaela Steffes involved in this. Mark Bondell may not have gotten a piece of it. Josh McCullough trying to scramble through. There's Jeremy Osborne. He's going to get involved. Looks like Heath Job is involved. There's Steffes. She's actually going to get a piece of Brock Westmoreland and Ron Morris. Go back, try to get one more look at this for you here. Going off into turn number 1. Here's going to give you a pretty good look at whether or not this is contact or net code. It's a little bit of both. I think they may have hit anyway. Garrison hard in the outside wall, collects Kenneth Stamper. William Fox drives through it there in the middle. Tim White, I think he got pretty lucky right there. I don't think he got much of a piece of it. Steffes gets a piece of Jeremy Osborne. There's Heath Jobs sliding into the grass. Everybody else, I am pretty sure, gets woed up. And so that's how we are underneath our first caution flag of the night here on lap number 5. An early caution brings this race to a bit of a halt. It was good racing up until that point, and with a caution, I can tell you, Austin Green back on the lead lap. Good to see Austin in the field tonight. There he is, running in the 18th position as we run right now. That's the caution that he needed for sure. These guys do have a fast repair to work with if they do get in a wreck. We'll keep an eye on Cameron Garrison, still sitting on pit road. He's going to go a lap down, but fixing the damage, betting on some more cautions. Probably a smart choice not to use the fast repair. Honestly, this early on, this is probably the right decision. Get back out there, log some laps. You know they're probably gonna wreck again. It's super speedway racing. It's the nature of the beast. Maybe a little bit later on in the race, you either get all of the damage repaired, or you can take the fast repair, get your lap back, get right back in this one. We'll see how long he spends on pit road. It is probably the smarter decision, though, because cautions breed cautions on super speedways. These guys have been known to have some stretches where we have multiple cautions one after another. So Garrison not panicking, staying calm, and just going to find a way back into this race. Trevor Osborne, though, man, he looks fast, doesn't he, in the 89, the 51 as well. Thomas Parker. They've been the class of the field for several weeks now. Thomas Parker especially, it feels like he was going to win last week. Ends up in a last lap incident in the trial. His teammate, Dustin Carruthers, drives through and gets the win instead. Gets the win under caution last week. And he's won back-to-back. Would be a huge momentum boost for Carruthers if he could go 3 in a row to end the season going into that championship race. Certainly one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win the big pot next week. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, probably after the race. We'll give you a rundown of how next week's going to work. If you're just now getting caught up, the Little Guys series is designed as a series for some guys that maybe don't get the spotlight as much on Tuesday or Thursday nights or Friday nights for FEG. Maybe guys that don't get as much of the spotlight to come out and show what they're made of. And I'll tell you what, a lot of these guys are really proving their worth here over the past few weeks. It has been outstanding to watch these guys grow and to watch these guys really lay everything on the table. These guys have a lot of talent that you just don't often see, and I've gotten the privilege of being able to bring you all the action. It has been a lot of fun. Just quite frankly, this is just so much fun. These guys can put on a heck of a show, and they have all 4 weeks of the regular season. All right. 1 to go signal's been given. The lights are out atop our Chevy Silverado pace truck. That means we're going to go back under the green flag next time by. Looking a little further back, because I see some new-looking paint schemes. I'll tell you what, look at these trucks. I'm trying to figure out who exactly these trucks are. I know Logan York is one of them in the 01. There's Bradley Stefane. He's in the 89 on the side of the truck. He's the 20 on my scoring. Danny Barnes has one of these slick new paint schemes as well. Let's see if we can get a better look at one so you can see what I'm seeing right here. We go. As they fly by. Look at this paint job on Danny Barnes. Hyper Motorsports. And I'll tell you what, and actually it does remind me, we'll talk about the shakeup a little bit now while we have a chance. So One Stop Motorsports, all their drivers have joined different teams. I can tell you, Ryan Baste in the 73, now a member of KSR, with Carruthers, Stamper, Parker, Oswernoth, and all of their other drivers. I can tell you that Danny Barnes for PGR, he has made the jump to Hyper Motorsports, which is John Ward's new team. A new startup Logan York obviously making the jump, as well as Bradley Stefane. Several other drivers making the jump to other teams as well. And so we'll see how that turns out. It's going to be very interesting. But you can't help but notice those flashy-looking paint jobs about halfway back in the field. You see Heath Job with one as well for Hyper Motorsports, about 3 rows short of the back of the field. So he has obviously joined Hyper Motorsports as well. So at least a 4-truck operation in the truck tonight. A little bit of a shakeup going into a championship race. That's going to make things awfully interesting. But here we go, off into the restart zone. Green flag's going to come back out. Here we go. 20 laps to go, and Austin Green gets turned right off the green flag. The green ghost goes around. And he's going to have to get it back going, and tough break after tough break for Austin Green. He missed the grid, got back on the racetrack, and now has to try and get that truck back in gear and roll in the right direction. Meanwhile, up front, it's Thomas Parker with his brand new teammate, Ryan Baste, in the 73. Parker drops across the nose of Osborne. Baste looking for the race lead with the help of former teammate William Fox. Zach Range pushing hard on the inside, third in line. Michael Menchaca's made his way up here as well. Field really spread out all the way back after that stack up on the green flag. Inside of 20 laps to go. Very short race. You got to make your moves quick. Ryan Baste goes to the lead. You know, he's locked in already. William Fox behind him, though, and Michael Menchaca, they are not locked in. Neither Zach Range. Devin Ray, how about the new paint job on the 22 as well? Everybody's really gone above and beyond tonight in the paint booth, making their trucks look awfully slick. And coming off turn 2, you get a pretty good look as they flash down the back straightaway of some of the new trucks in the field tonight as part of the shakeup that I just talked about briefly. Ryan Baste leads the field off into turn number 3. Thomas Parker, nice push from his teammate Trevor Osborne, though, goes back to the race lead. Everybody 2 by 2, kind of biding their time, not really wanting to make any desperate moves yet. Obviously, these front 2, plus Trevor Osborne out there, more than okay to run right here. They're already locked in, not much for them to race for tonight, except, like I said, momentum. Now the third line goes. Here goes Devin Ray with Brock Westmoreland to the outside of the racetrack. The problem is not much help for him out there. Here comes some help, though. Well, I thought Ron Morris was going to jump up there. Decides better of it. Josh McCullough, Richard Elliott, and Heath Job going to make their way to the outside. See if they get the third line working. But all up front, it's all KSR right now. Ryan Baste. Oh, boy. Almost a bad push there from William Fox. It's going to allow Thomas Parker to go right back to the race lead. Let's see if Parker can get clear and maybe get his teammates some fresh air here. He will do just that. As Thomas Parker, Trevor Osborne out now control the race. Third line starting to work just a little bit. As Devin Ray starts to get a big push here from Brock Westmoreland. They're coming towards the front. 17 laps to go from Talladega. Almost halfway home. Dega Pros Little Guys Series race number 5. If you're just joining, you have missed a pretty good race as always. As Dustin Carruthers jumps to the outside. Bradley Stefane jumps to the outside. Now Parker, a bad push from his teammates, going to hang him out. In fact, I don't know if this may be by design. Here comes the KSR teammate, Dustin Carruthers. They're going to have to split him. Thomas Parker, oh boy. Here we go, 4 wide off into turn number 3. How are we going to make this work? We do somehow. Carruthers fades back in line. A problem on the 51 trouble. Around goes Carruthers. Danny Barnes is involved as well. And we're going to pile him up for the second time here in turns 3 and 4. Danny Barnes, the first one to really get around. You saw it start to happen in the middle of your screen here. Not sure what happened on the 51 of Thomas Parker. He was going backwards in a hurry. Not really sure what the issue was there. Coming through 3 and 4, I think Ron Morris is going to get a little piece of the right rear of the 7 of Danny Barnes. They're going to get Dustin Carruthers into the outside wall they go. Thomas Parker, I think, is going to just really have nowhere to go right here. Piles into the back of Ron Morris. Actually gets up underneath the 76. Carruthers slides backwards against the outside wall, just trying to keep it off of everybody else, trying to slide to the bottom of this wreck. Josh McCullough into the grass. Barnes slides back down the racetrack. So really minimal consequences here other than for Danny Barnes, Dustin Carruthers, Thomas Parker And so under our second caution here, about halfway home here in Dega Pro's Little Guys Series race number 5, Ryan Baste has the field in hand. And he and his teammates have led what feels like just about every lap of this race. While we have a second, we will look into the chat. Look who's coming out. Thanks for showing up, James. He is rooting for the 23 machine of Tim White tonight. Tim's inside the top 10. He's having a good run. Would love to have himself a nice run here at the tail end of this race. Try to make his way into that race next week. Cameron Garrison's got some fans as well. He's still on the racetrack, staying in it. Clean truck. He's just got to get a couple of more cautions, maybe one more caution, and he will be back in this one. Definitely not over. Still a long ways to go. Well, long in comparison anyway. So we're almost halfway home. We'll take another quick second as, well, right as I say that, how about Cameron Garrison getting the lucky dog? He's still going to be at least one lap down, but hey, that's a start for the driver of the 8. He is not out of this one yet. It's super speedway racing. No one's really ever out of a super speedway race unless you take your truck behind the wall and put it on the hauler. So definitely not the end of his night quite yet. We'll take a second look at where the guys in points are running and give you a little update of what the stakes are going to be once we go back green on lap number 14. So again, if you're just joining me, the standings, a little bit different from what you're probably used to. You make it into the championship race next week with a podium finish in any of the 5 races. Now that's an automatic lock-in. You can also lock in on a combination of points per race and average finish. We've got 4 drivers locked in on that statistic. And then we've got just our drivers racing for points that obviously also could get a top 3 lock their way in next week as well. And so we'll give you a little rundown. Locked in on podiums here tonight. Coming into this race, they had nothing to worry about. Either in on podiums or in on points are the following 11 drivers, if you missed it the first time. Dustin Carruthers in the 10. Ryan Baste, our race leader, in the 73. Heath Job in the 760. Brock Westmoreland in, I believe he's in the 12 tonight. Trevor Osbornoth in the 89. He's running second. Sean Corbett, who I believe is also in the field tonight. He is in 8th position currently. And Michael Triscaro, who's not in the field tonight, but he is locked in as well based on a podium finish. In on points, Thomas Parker in the 51. Michaela Steffes in the 49. Danny Barnes in the 7. And Mark Vondell in the 59. And now here's where it gets interesting. Aiden Kirk, as of right this second, is running in the 6th position. Jeremy Osborne, he's on track as well. He runs 24th position. He would lock in if the points were to end before this race had started. Kenneth Stamper is in as they run. Well, I don't know about as they run right now, but coming in tonight, he would have locked in as well. He is running 17th. Ron Morris would have been in. He's running 19th. And then the guys below the line that really need a good run. Tied with Ron Morris is Devin Ray. He's running in 8th position. Richard Elliott is running in the 16th position. He's not far behind those two. Zach Range running the best out of anybody outside of the point situation right now in the 4th position. Bradley Stefane runs in 11th position. He's below the cut line, as well as Logan York, who's in 10th. Kenneth Gallman is not in the field tonight. William Fox runs in 3rd. Austin Green runs currently in the 21st position. And Josh McCullough runs in the 18th position. And now the following drivers must get a top 3 tonight to lock their way in. Jack Hignite was on that list. He's not in the field. Michael Menchaca runs 7th. Aubrey Thompson not in the field as well tonight. Looking through a little bit further just to get away from the guys I don't see. Cody Ashley's not in the field. Michael Aminti's not in the field. A lot of these guys not in the field tonight. Tim White needs a top 3 as well. So Tim White, Michael Menchaca, we're going to watch them extra. Here as we get back under green, it'll be and even halfway. 14 laps to go, 14 on the board. Who's going to make their way into that big championship pot race next Monday night? It's going to be a good finish. Stick around if you're just joining me. You've missed a lot, but hey, you still have a lot to catch up on. Green flag is back in the air from Talladega. 13 laps to go. Ryan Bass, Trevor Osbornoff fly into turn number 1. Zach Range, Aiden Kirk, William Fox, they all could use good runs tonight. This could get very interesting here the later we go in this race to see who's going to get the job done, who's going to make their way into that final race. Top line starting to roll. Osbornoff getting a nice healthy push from Zach Range. He may go to lead. Let's see if he goes and gets his teammate on the bottom. Once he gets clear, he's running a little bit wide off into turn 3. Does he make the move to the bottom? Yes, it takes him a second. And no wonder it took him a second. His help nowhere to be found. New leader, Zach Range at Talladega, the 043. He's got help from Aiden Kirk in the 47, that bright green truck we've gotten so used to seeing at the front. Does Kirk go for the lead or does he stay behind Range? They're both going to drop to the bottom. Smart move. Kirk and Range now control the field. Leaves the top to Sean Corbett in the 45. He's got a push from Logan York. He could use a good run tonight, as could Bradley Stefane. Heath Job. So teammates lined up 2, 3, 4 on the outside line. Down the backstretch, Zach Range still continuing to lead. 12 laps to go from Talladega. If you can believe it, it's crunch time already. It feels like we haven't been here for very long. It's already time to start making your moves. Sean Corbett to the outside for the race lead in the 45. He's got a nice bit of help from Logan York, who really could use a top 3 in this race. As they are even up with Zach Range into the tri-oval 2 wide, about 8 rows deep in this field. Range back out front. Aiden Kirk doing an excellent job of pushing the 043. Osbornoff giving them some nice support as well, allows them both to get clear. And here we go. Aiden Kirk says no more waiting. He goes to the outside with help from Sean Corbett. Further back, the boss man, Kenny Stamper, jumps outside with Thomas Parker. But now, down the back straightaway, for the first time tonight, Aiden Kirk will go to the race lead off into turn number 3 with the help of the 45 of Sean Corbett. Now the Hyper Trucks jump out to the outside. They're led by Logan York. Third line rolling, second line fading. Will the KSR boys get clear to the middle? They will. Osbornoff and Bass. Do they take it? Yes, they do. Osbornoff to the outside for the race lead. Kirk looking 4 wide further back. I think he should just tuck in line, and he does. New leader, Trevor Osbornoff, but not for long. Here comes Logan York. Oh, he's going to get turned by his teammate into the outside wall. Logan York bouncing off the outside wall. Still no caution. York still pinned to the outside wall. Now he goes around, and the caution flag is out once again with 10 laps to go from Talladega. Well, we'll take a look at it. You saw it happen live on your screen. As they came through the tri-oval, they get offset. It's a bad push perhaps from Stefane to Logan York, and as Logan goes to get back up in line, the run has already gotten to the outside, and York gets pinned to the outside wall by his teammate. Stefane nowhere to go. Job nowhere to go. Stamper gets a piece of it. Looks like Thomas Parker is going to miss this one. As they slide down towards turn number 1. I have no idea how Kenny Stamper doesn't get involved in that. Looks like Thomas Parker actually does get a bit of a piece of this, trying to lock up the brakes, trying to miss the guys in front of him. And York goes for a long slide in turn number 1. Comes back down across the racetrack. Actually hits one more time. And comes to a stop on the apron. So, we are inside 10 laps to go as the field catches back up to the pace truck here in turn number 3. It's going to come down to a late restart, as it usually does here in the little guys race. And so many storylines here at the front of the field. I could talk about it for a long time. I mean, we could just go through a rundown here right now just to give you an idea of who is in what position. Trevor Osbornoff, Ryan Bass are locked in for sure. Not going to be any harm if they end up on the wrong end of this restart. Aiden Kirk is third. He's above the point cut line as of right now, but obviously could use a top 3 to lock in or just a good run to make sure he can lock his way into that final race next week. Zach Range is below the cut line. He really could use a top 3. Sean Corbett is locked in. William Fox below the cut line. He could use a good run. Michael Menchaca needs a top 3 tonight. He's going to be pretty quick to make a move here on this restart, I would think. Richard Elliott below the cut line. He could use a good run. Same with Josh McCullough. Same with Devin Ray. Austin Green could use a good run as well. He's starting to creep his way back into the picture in 11th position. Mark Vondell is locked in. Kenny Stamper above the line as of now, but I don't know if a 13th place finish is going to cut it for the driver of the 30. He's in a tight points battle right around that cut line. Mark Westmoreland locked in. Ron Morris is on the cut line. He is the cut line driver. He needs to make something happen on this restart. Danny Barnes locked in. Jeremy Osborne below the cut line, above the cut line, but not by much. A 17th place finish certainly not going to get the job done for the driver of the 41. Michaela Steffes is locked in. So nothing for her or Thomas Parker or Heath Job to worry about. Dustin Carruthers, same situation for him as well. And so it's going to be a very interesting restart. Man, I can't tell you, the whole season's going to come down to what looks to be about a 6-lap run to the end. 5 races, 135 total laps of racing. And to figure out the last few drivers into that top 3, it's going to come down to just 6 laps. Not a lot of time for the guys that need to go to get up on their horse and go. And boy, oh boy, I can't wait. And I'm glad you're here with me to take in all the action. I can tell you just briefly, with that caution, Cameron Garrison is back on the lead lap. And so we'll have to see here what he can do on this restart. He's back in the field, but hey, don't count him out. It's super speedway racing. Anything can happen. And so the field will rack up. Behind the pace truck here, 1 lap to go until the green flag. We put 21 on the board. It'll be 6 laps to go when we go back racing. Everything these guys have worked for, especially the ones right around that cut line, all comes down to right now. And I can tell you, also being a driver and being in this position before, you know, this is a nervous time. I can tell you, just straight up, it's hard to hold back the nerves right here, especially if you're a guy that's maybe a little further back, not controlling the race, gonna have to go make it happen. This is where we separate the good from the great, is right here on this restart, especially for guys that have raced all 5 races. And I can tell you exactly who that would be. That would be a guy like Kenny Stamper. It would be a guy like Richard Elliott. You know, guys like that have paid through 4 of these races and been here every single week, and now all that work you put in, all that practice you put in, all that time you spent preparing for this race and this season comes down to what's going to amount to about 5 total minutes if we go green. It's really hard to think about. It's hard to comprehend the fact that an entire season, hours of time, comes down to literally what's going to turn into about 5 minutes. But in that next 5 minutes, someone, more than one person, could make a name for themselves and make their way to that championship race next Monday night. Last chance potentially here. Take a deep breath if you haven't yet. You might not get another chance. It'll be 6 laps to go from Talladega. If you're in the chat, tell me who you're rooting for, who you want to go get the win, who you want to lock into that championship race. Cheer loud. That's what these guys would want you to do. That's what these guys are here for you guys out there to do. Trevor Oswornoth brings the field into the restart zone. 6 laps to go in the regular season finale for Dega Pro's Little Guys Series. It's a pretty good start for the boys up front. Aiden Kirk right to the back bumper of Osbornoff. Zach Range to the back bumper of Ryan Baste. Third line already working. Michaela Steffes says it's time to go. She's got help from Thomas Parker. They're side drafted further back. They're going to need some more help. It's wound up for now, but they're going to need some more trucks to jump up. Ryan Baste has that top line wound up. I don't think he's going to move off the top. Let's see if Zach Range makes the first move instead. No. A good enough push from Kirk. Oh, they wave around a little bit behind them. It'll be 5 laps to go the next time we see the start-finish line. Steph is trying to make some ground up. They just need more trucks. Does Austin Green take a chance? Yes, he does, and so does Devin Ray. Michaela Steffes goes higher. She says, no, sir, I'm going 4 wide. Steffes still 4 wide, carrying the run up against the outside wall. Austin Green caught in the 3rd lane. Do they make this work? I don't know. Thomas Parker now bails. Goes with Austin Green. Trouble. Further back, Osborne, Parker, Westmoreland. And we're going to be under the yellow flag once again, and that was after contact. Up front as well, you're going to see a lot of stuff happen on this caution. As Danny Barnes gets around once again. Excuse me, not Danny Barnes, Jeremy Osborne. You see it's already starting to unfold. Michaela Steffes. 4 wide, aggression. Very high in this race. We're focused on a little further back. It's actually going to start close to the front. We'll find a better angle for you. Here we go. There's actually going to be contact up closer to the front of the field between Zach Range and Ryan Baste. That almost triggers a wreck right at the front of the field. Now Von Dell gets a piece of Austin Green. Then I thought they were going to crash right there in the middle, but before they can, Jeremy Osborne gets turned off the nose of Bradley Stefane up into Thomas Parker. Danny Barnes getting a pretty big piece of that. Dustin Carruthers is going to go for a slide. Cameron Garrison misses that one, though. As Jeremy Osborne, Brock Westmoreland get the brunt of that one, and that is not at all what Jeremy Osborne needed to see. Not far above that cut line. That's definitely not what the 41 wanted to see right here on this late caution. And Ryan Baste. Make sure I noticed that right. Oh, wow. Some pretty heavy rear end damage on the back of the 73. So that was a bit more of a costly exchange between himself and Zach Range than I thought it was. We will not go into overtime. I don't believe it should be an organic green-white checkered. It's going to be awfully close. We would have to get the lights out right here. Back to the start-finish line they come. The lights go out. No, they do not. So, we will be in overtime. Here at Talladega, the first attempt at a green-white checkered here in race number 5. Trevor Osbornoff's had the field on lockdown all day. Aiden Kirk, you want to talk about a big run in the clutch when you need to have a good run. He's having a great one, and I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to have a look at this. He's going to be in clean air on the restart. He's just going to have to hope he gets enough help. What a win it would be for Aiden Kirk if he can get this one done. And we'll see if he can do just that. It'll be 2 to go. First attempt at a green-white checkered finish. And so we will see. We do have 3 attempts, so this will be the first of 3. And so this will not be the end of the race right here. It's not just 1 attempt. It's 3 attempts. So plenty more room for racing here if these guys decide to pile them up once again. It is notable going into this restart that It is iRacing controlled cautions tonight. Unless there is a need for one that iRacing does not throw. That is notable here because if we do use all 3 attempts and we get to that 3rd attempt, if there is a caution that iRacing deems worthy of throwing the yellow flag, the race will be over, the field will be frozen at the time of caution, and we will determine the finishing order from the scoring loop that iRacing decides is the previous one before the yellow flag is thrown. It will only be notable if we have to use all 3 attempts. These guys would like for this to finish under green. I'm sure you all would too. Lights are out atop the Chevy Silverado pace car. And we are going to get ready to get them underway once again. Now, what I said a few minutes ago, it's even more condensed now. If you're a guy like Aiden Kirk, if you're a guy like Zach Range, William Fox, Michael Menchaca, Richard Elliott, Kenneth Stamper, Josh McCullough, Devin Ray, Ron Morris, Austin Green, you need to go. Your season now rests on a 2-lap dash to the finish. Regardless of if that is getting your way in on points or getting onto the podium, you need to make the move now. There is no more time to wait. There is no more time to sit back, see what everybody else does. You have to act and hope it works. And we've seen some crazy stuff in these races. 2 weeks ago, coming to the checkered flag, we piled the field up in the tri-oval. Dustin Carruthers drove through the crash from 10th to win the race. Brock Westmoreland drove through the crash from 12th to finish P2. Crazier things have happened. Everyone that still has a clean truck that's on the lead lap is still in this race. And that encompasses 24 trucks. All different storylines, all different point situations. Locked in, not locked in. Must win. All kinds of different scenarios could unfold over the course of the next 5.5 miles. Buckle up. Green-white checkered attempt number 1. Little Guys Series race number 5. It all comes down to this. Trevor Oswernoth brings the field into the Geico restart zone. The green flag is out once again. Here we go. Overtime at Talladega. It's a good enough start for Oswernoth to jump right up in front of Aiden Kirk. Does he think about going 3? He does. Corbett, I thought, was going to fill the gap to the middle. The line starts to stack up behind the middle line. It was a bit of a weird stack up. First one to move is Cameron Garrison, and he's got a huge run in the 8. Now several guys go. Richard Elliott goes. William Fox goes. Now they jump back in line to a few of the trucks further back. That's Josh McCullough, and I think Devin Ray. Oswernoth watching it all go on in his mirror. William Fox starting to get some room here to the outside with the help of Richard Elliott. They're waiting on Austin Green, who fades back in line. I think Austin needs to stay out there if he's going to have any look at this. Off turn 4, fading up into the outside wall. How did we not wreck right there? I have no idea. All up front, though, it's Ryan Baste. 4 wide further back in the tri-oval. Here we go. We're going to settle it right here, I do believe. White flag from Talladega. Trouble. Brock Westmoreland, Michaela Steffes, Austin Green, Cameron Garrison. Further back, we got to stay up front. We'll go back and look at it in a moment. Devin Ray, Josh McCullough, Ron Morris trying to get the outside line wound up. Based with help from Range on the bottom. Oswernoth with Kirk in the middle. When does Aiden Kirk decide to go? He's got to do it now, I think, if he's going to get out there with Devin Ray. He thinks about it. Not enough time. Devin Ray squeezes his way to the outside. Oswernoth back to the lead. Into turn number 3. Ray pokes the nose out front. We're 3 wide for the race lead. Ryan Baste with a big push back to the bottom from Zach Range. Baste as he comes in. What trouble? Oswernoth's around right in front of Ray and Josh McCullough. Now to the outside. It's going to be a drag race all the way to the start-finish line. Baste up in front. It's not going to be enough. How about that for a walk-off? Zach Range wins at Talladega. Unreal. He was below the cut line, and he walks off. In the dying moments, Zach Range gets the unlikeliest of wins in the Little Guys Series. Unreal. What a finish. What a moment for Zach Range. We're going to let him celebrate here on the front straightaway. The last race puts on as much of a show as any of the other ones do. Unreal. Unreal. That's all I can say. We were waiting to see if Zach Range was going to be able to get the job done. He's been close more than once. Tonight, it goes his way. And he's burning it down on the front stretch. Your winner, Zach Range at the 0:43. This is going to be a spirited burnout out of the driver of the 0:43. We know how much this meant to him. I know how frustrated he was after it didn't go his way. And there you go. There you have it, the celebration for Zach Range. All right, well, I will tell you right off the bat, I'm not going to have exact points for you here, at least immediately. We'll see if we get that. I don't know if we will. We may have to tune in next week and see for sure who is racing. I can tell you Zach Range has locked his way into that race, and so has Kenneth Stamper by virtue of a second-place finish tonight. Both guys that needed good runs. And, all right, well, we'll go ahead and start your top three, I guess, because they're all going to jump in here at once. We'll start with your third-place finisher, Ryan Baste. Hey, Ryan, it's Dawson up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Dawson. Yep, I got you.
Holy cow, what a race. That one did not disappoint. What a great finish. And you come home third after all that. You were already locked in, but it's got to be some serious momentum here going into next week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, dude. I think out of the 5 races, I podiumed on 4 of them, so I'm looking just to kind of turn that into this championship race and see what we can do.
Well, that's a great way to go into that race. Looked like you may have had the field locked down once again. You end up coming home third anyway, though. You know, kind of take me through, first of all, that last lap, then second of all, how the race went tonight. Obviously, you're running with a new team tonight. Just kind of take me through how your night went.
Yeah, the last lap, it's a shame that, Trevor was leading the middle line there, and I think we would have had I think we would have had another KSR driver up there, and that would have been nice. For me, it was just, from the restart was hold that bottom line and go. Range was pushing me like hell, man. I was going all over the place. I mean, overall, the race was a lot of fun. I had fun running with my new team here, and I'm excited to get to do it some more times.
Well, absolutely, and it's a great run for you guys. It looked like you guys were already pretty well gelled as a team tonight, and I gotta imagine that's giving you a lot of confidence here going into next week.
Yeah, man, these are definitely a good group of guys, and they know how to run. So, I feel like I'm sliding right in. We were working well together tonight on the track. It's a shame that last wreck happened. I like to avoid those coming to the line. I'd rather race that clean, but it's super speedway racing. It happens, and you keep moving.
Absolutely, and you come home third. It's some great momentum, and you're certainly one of the guys to watch here next week. While we have you for a second, anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I got my wife upstairs watching, so shout out to her. Boys over at KSR for letting me run with them tonight, and the boys over at Blampers for all the support.
All right, well, congrats on that third-place finish. Go enjoy it with your new teammates, and we'll see you next week for that championship race.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, and that takes us to our second-place finisher tonight. Had a look at the win, came up just a little bit short, but locks into the race nonetheless with a podium, and that's Mr. Kenny Stamper. Hey, Kenny, it's Dawson up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, you came into tonight above the cut line in points, but could have used a good run, and it works out for you on the last lap. You drive through the wreck. You finish second. So first off, just how do you feel? You're locked in the championship race.
Oh, I feel a lot better now. I've been sweating a little bit, but that definitely worked up for me there.
Yeah, it did, and kind of take me through what it was like having Ryan out there tonight. I know I talked to him about it just a couple of minutes ago, but you guys have Ryan jump on your team here tonight for race number 5, and it certainly makes your guys' operation stronger. But man, you guys looked really good out there. Just kind of take me through what it was like having another guy added to your already great team.
Oh, for sure, it's instantly good. he absolutely knows what's going on, knows how to drive. Heck, fast. He's just fast and instantly meshing very well. I'm glad to have him.
Well, you guys definitely are meshing very well going into a really big championship race, and you guys have a lot of representation in that race, several trucks that are going to go for that championship next week. So, kind of give me an inside scoop. What's the game plan going into next week, getting ready to run for that big championship pot?
Podium and more. Top, however many KSR is going to be in it, that's what we want, all the spots.
All right. Well, certainly a good opportunity to be confident after the run tonight. You come home second while we have you for a quick minute. Anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Oh, for sure. Definitely all my teammates here at KSR. Love the guys to death. They're just a pleasure to run with. John for putting this stuff on. You guys for the broadcast. It's awesome. Appreciate you all.
All right, well, congrats on that second place finish. You lock into the championship race. It's a great run for you and your team. We'll see you next week. Good luck in the championship race.
Thank you, sir.
That leaves us with just one of our finishers. We'll try to get a hold of Zach Range here in just a moment. We'll take you through the finishing results here in just a moment, as well as we try to wait for Zach Range. So we'll get your finishing results here first. Give me just a second. We'll try to get him around, get him in here to try to talk to us. I know he does hang out in the YouTube chat sometimes. Zach, if you're in the chat, get on in here and come find me, and we'll get a word from you. But nonetheless, I will. Oh, well, hey, right on cue. How about that? Our winner, Zach Range. Zach, man, wow, you needed a good run tonight, and that's a heck of a way to put an exclamation point on your season. You lock into the championship race. How you feel?
Yes, sir. I feel ecstatic. It was amazing. It was a great race. It was
I'll tell you what, you like I said, you needed a good run tonight, and we've seen you run up front countless times, it feels like, this season, and you've been in position. It hasn't gone your way. What does this do for your confidence? I know you've been waiting on this one for a long time.
This just upped it by 10 times, and I'm ready for this championship run now that I'm locked in.
All right, well, hey, give me an inside scoop, man. What's the game plan going into next week now that you're going to be running for that championship pot?
To be honest, I hoping that Aiden Kirk went through into the next round. He's my only other teammate in here. We're just winging it. Two-man team.
Well, he certainly had a great run tonight. You guys both looked very, very good up at the front of the field, and we'll have to wait and see if he's locked in. No confirmation for you yet. I wish I could give you that, but not quite here yet. But while we have you for a second, you come home with a victory. It's again, that's got to feel really good. Anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Yes, I want to thank my dad downstairs for watching me and always supporting me, and I want to thank Aiden Kirk for helping me out the whole race and pushing me up there and staying with me.
Oh, absolutely. You get the job done tonight. You get a victory. You're locked into that championship race. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We'll see you next week. Good luck in that big championship race.
Thank you, sir. You have a good one.
That is our race winner, Zach Range. He's going to be able to celebrate a big win here tonight. That's going to end our show here tonight. We'll go through your finishing results here just briefly. I'll just give you an idea of where everybody finished. Again, I don't have any confirmation on who is going to be racing for the championship next week, but I can give you the finishing results nonetheless. Zach Range, what a huge win for him. It's a great moment. You can tell the emotion for him, and he gets the job done here tonight. Kenny Stamper and Ryan Bass round out your podium here tonight. Kenny Stamper locks his way in, and KSR are going to be a force to be reckoned with next Monday night. Richard Elliott finishes fourth. That might be enough to get him into that last race. Again, no immediate confirmation on that front. Probably not going to get any tonight, but we will have to wait and see. We'll wait a couple of minutes here while we go through the results and see if we do get that for you. Heath Job was already locked in fifth. Aiden Kirk, he did what he could tonight. He needed a pretty good run, and I will go back and double check where he was in the points coming into tonight. He was not in a bad spot. He was actually above the cut line, and see, Kenny Stamper locked in. Zach Range locked in, so I'm pretty. That should be enough to get him into that last race, I would think. Sixth place effort should be enough to get the 47 in as well. William Fox goes 7th tonight. Devin Ray goes 8th. Mark Vondell 9th, and Josh McCullough finishes in 10th. How about Cameron Garrison finishing 11th tonight? His first appearance in the Little Guys Series, and he's just outside the top 10. Was up front at times, looking pretty good. Brock Westmoreland goes 12th tonight. Thomas Parker 13th for KSR. Danny Barnes 14th. Trevor Osbornoth led off turn 4, got turned, ends up 15th tonight. Michaela Steffes finishes 16th. Bradley Stefane 17th. Austin Green in the 18th position. Michael Menchaca 19th. Sean Corbett 20th. Tim White 21st. Ron Morris 22nd. Dustin Crothers in 23rd. Logan York in 24th. And Jeremy Osborne rounds out the 25 truck field. Well, like I said, not a ton of confirmation for you here, unfortunately. I wish I had some, but I can tell you it's obviously Kenny Stamper is locked in, Zach Range is locked in. So here are the guys that are locked in for sure, 100%. I can tell you they'll be racing for a championship in that big championship race, and that will be Dustin Carruthers for KSR, Ryan Baste for KSR, Heath Job for Hyper Motorsports, Brock Westmoreland, Trevor Osbornoth for KSR, Sean Corbett, Michael Triscaro for PGR, Thomas Parker of KSR, Michaela Steffes, Danny Barnes of Hyper Motorsports, and Mark Mondell of McCullough Motorsports. Here are the guys I'm pretty sure have locked in. Again, do not take this as confirmation. I can just tell you that they are most likely into that race. Obviously, Kenny Stamper is locked in by virtue of his finish tonight, as well as Zach Range. So for sure, 13 drivers are in the championship pot for next week. Aiden Kirk's 6th place effort should be enough to lock him in. So count on him being in. I would think Devin Ray's effort would be enough for him as well, as he finished well above Ron Morris. So he should jump the cut line. I would think maybe Richard Elliott's 4th place effort would be enough to get him into the race as well. Beyond that, not much confirmation for you. I can't really, it's really close down there near the bottom. But I would say Aiden Kirk, Devin Ray, and Richard Elliott. If there's anybody that's going to get in on points tonight, it would be those 3, based on just my very, very quick, probably inaccurate math. So anyway, you want to tune in next week, and we'll get it ready for you, and we'll get you a for sure note on who is going to be in that race. As I'm trying to confirm something really quickly here. I do believe next week's race is on Monday. I have heard some talk about Saturday, so we will have to see. Be ready to come back here. Turn the notifications on. That's probably a good shameless plug here right at the end of this broadcast. If you enjoyed what you saw, subscribe, come back, watch this championship race. I promise you're not going to regret it at all. It's going to be well worth it. You'll want to come back if you liked what you saw tonight. Hit the notification bell so you know when I'm going live. I do believe it's going to be Monday again, but it might be Saturday, so just keep an eye on that. We'll be around the same time, though, late on the East Coast, and hopefully we'll be bringing you the action right back here on the Hickory Racing Network. I want to thank everybody who came out. It was a huge audience. It was great to see. These guys appreciate it. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too, because I know these drivers definitely did. We're one race away from crowning a champion in the Dega Pros Little Guys Series Season number 1. Come back out next week. I promise you, I've said it a bunch. I'll say it again. You don't want to miss a thing. It's going to be great. I can't wait. Until then, my name is Dawson Wise. You've been watching the